What's up YouTube, it's Louis here, hope you're all well. Today we'll be looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. First of all, I want to say, please go ahead and follow my Twitter, Louis_crypto. I'm posting multiple updates throughout the days and nights, so make sure you're following me there. I'm also offering a 50% discount on my course at the moment. Just private message me on my Twitter. Let's get into the Bitcoin video. We're currently finding support in our first target, which was 16k down here on the weekly time frame. We can see that that's the only thing that's essentially holding us until we dump further to our next targets at around 14 to 10k for Bitcoin. So let's zoom in. We can see that with the weekly close, if we zoom in again, we can see with the weekly close, we lost this low. So guaranteed the bottom's not in. But I was able to warn you guys even before the weekly close that this is essentially what we were going to see at the beginning of the week. So make sure you are following my Twitter. There's so much value there for free at the moment. Okay, continuing with the daily time frame. It looks like we're getting this bounce today again off the 1618. But I've told you guys already, let me just get rid of this blue line. So I told you guys already when we initially dropped down here that any pump is just going to be a pump into resistance. Even if we get all the way back up to 20k, that psychological level right there, that wick. Even if we get back up to 20k, it's not bullish. It'll just be a retracement into a key resistance before continuation lower. That's what I told you with this initial dump, this second red candle over here, the second day into it. And I told you guys that after this green candle or during this green candle, I said I'm not buying this pump because remember, as I said in the video, any pump is just a pump into resistance. You've now made a lower low. Even if you go up, it's just going to be a lower high. You technically need to get above this gold zone now. Why? Because the capitulation started right there. So if you want this to be bullish, you need to be above that. But we were saying, as we were coming up here, we need to take out this high for us to head up. So really and truly, we need to close above both of this. So we need to get above the gold box completely for this to be bullish. Until then, it's not bullish. And I know that a lot of people don't like to hear that. They were saying, oh, Louis, last week, before all of this dump, you were bullish and now you're bearish. I told you many months ago when this higher low was in, I am bullish specifically because of this higher low. If it's lost, there's nothing, not 000 to be bullish about. That was the only thing that was keeping us bullish. That was the only reason why I was bullish. Because if we look at the long term, everything was bearish. And so that was the point where everything changed. So I told you guys, everything has changed. We're now bullish. As long as we hold 18.6k, everything's bullish. And I said on all your alt videos, if Bitcoin loses 18.6k, the bottom's not in. There was enough warning 1 million times. But if we go over here, I also said, if we lose 18.6k, I'm no longer bullish. I'll be the first to tell you that. And I said that you won't like how quickly I flip bearish. Because guys, you know me, I'm emotionless. Some of the cryptos that I do videos on, I'm not in those cryptos. So that's why I don't really have a bias, essentially. Because a lot of the cryptos I cover are because the community, for example, I'm in quant. And so obviously I'm covering quant, but other coins such as HBAR, Elrond, I'm not in. But the reason why I'm covering them is because a lot of you that are in these other coins like Bitcoin and quant, you are also in those coins. So that's why I do it for you guys. And that's why I can maintain unbiased. I was always saying if you lose the higher low, then we all know the bottom is not in, and I'll be the first to tell you. And when we pump back into this resistance, I said I'm not buying it. As I explained, any pump up, as long as it's not above this gold box, it's all fake. So if we go up, let's say we go up today, we're up here. I don't believe it. I really don't care, guys. I'm not going to FOMO back in. Why? Because we had a bullish cross. We broke out the inverse head and shoulders pattern. Bullish. There was a massive descending triangle down to 10k. We did not want this to validate. How on earth does that get validated, 10k? You need to lose the higher low. And remember, the higher low was 18.6k, which should have never happened. I showed you multiple times. If I turn on the other EMA, we should have lost the low here, and you did not. You held support there. That is exactly why this was our point of interest. You lost the EMAs again. We should lose the low. Here, 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 here. Those are all the times you should have validated this 14k, well 16, 14 and 10k target, because your neckline was 18.6k. If you close below it, we're going down. And all these examples which I just showed you was where things flipped bearish, okay, so we're already bearish, so we're going in this downtrend. You're running into EMAs, which are resistance. Look, you ran into them there and you lost the low here. So we're doing the same here. Why are we not losing the low? Because you flipped bullish. So if this nonsense with the FTX didn't happen, we actually still would have been bullish, and I would have been saying, as long as you're above 18.6k, we're bullish. If we lose it, I'm bearish. It's literally as simple as that. And when I say, oh, I'm bearish, it's because the chart is. So if the chart is bearish, let's go through the definitions. We're in a bear market. You made a higher low in the bear market, so that is bullish. So that is potential. In the short term, we're going to go up. As long as we're holding above this, we should actually go up. There's a chance if we now break above this, we can get out of this bear market, make higher highs, change the downtrend structure into an uptrend structure, because there should not be higher lows. There should only be lower lows and lower highs. So we got rid of the lower lows right here. And so we started this journey up. We eventually came back down to there. We were able to call because there were two M patterns, a larger one there, but also a smaller one here. I know it's confusing to see, but if you were back there, you would have known we were saying that even though we're coming down, I have to say that we're bullish as long as we're above this. I remember telling you, yes, when we went from 25k to 18.6k, 18.5k, but technically, guys, as long as we're above this, it's bullish. So the moment we're losing that, the chart is no longer in an uptrend, it's in a downtrend. So that means if we're in a downtrend, which is lower lows and lower highs, so we have our low here and we just made a lower low, that means if we come up, it's going to be lower than the last high, lower than this. So any pump, as I said, any pump, even if we're coming into 20k, it does not matter, it's fake. Unless you start doing higher lows. It's a long process. It's not what should happen. What should happen is you made a lower low. Any high is a lower high. You should then make a lower low. Next target 14k, then 10k. That's what you're going to consistently do. The only way you change that is if you've put in this massive impulse upwards and you somewhere find a higher low, but then that's not even done. You need to stop a lower high from happening, from then a lower low to continue it. You need something out of the ordinary to happen, which would be a higher high. So that's not what should happen. This structure is not what should happen, but that is how you get out of this. This is the structure you need to see to get out of this if you want a bull market again. But it's not what should happen. We don't have bullish structure for a bull market. We had it and we lost it. And that's why I told you guys, the moment we lose it, I will flip and you guys won't like it. So we flip bearish there. That means we should always just expect continuation of a bear market. It doesn't even mean that these targets will be the low. It just means once you meet these targets, the first one being 16k, you have a relief. Can that relief reclaim this level here? Can the relief rally reclaim the higher low? Can it actually break above that? These are all the if questions you have to ask at each time we bounce. So we met the first target. Can it reclaim 17.6, 18.6, 20k, and then 23k? Because if it can reclaim all of those levels, then it's bullish. If it can't reclaim all of those levels, it's not bullish. So each reclaim of the level, so you see how we're reclaiming each level? That's not what should happen, because this is not bullish. Then you understand, guys. So what should happen is just continuous lower lows and lower highs. So that's our expectation going forward. So we have our head and shoulders over here, shoulder, head, shoulder, and our target is around 14,300, which is in line with the two targets over here. So this will obviously occur once we lose this low over here, but we see at the moment we're holding the low. So it means potentially in the short term, we're going to get this bounce, okay? Potentially. As long as we're above this wick over here, we should now be expecting some bounce. That's why today we've bounced a little bit, okay? But I've just shown you the process that we need to do if you want to go up. And that's not the process I believe. I believe that you're just going to run into resistance and then continue lower. Whether that's just here, whether that's a bit higher. Again, I said that we can run into 20k. I don't care. You can run into the 20k psychological level because you are holding it as support. Of course, if you go into it again, it's just resistance. So do you understand? I hope this was all so clear for you today, guys. Let's get this video to over 100 likes. Please share it because a lot of you that are watching the alts videos are not watching this. A good few of you are not subscribed. So let's push for 5k subscribers. But I do urge you all to turn the notification bell on for YouTube and Twitter. Make sure you're following me over there, Louis_crypto. So I will get the larger fibs from the low to the high. I will get rid of the smaller ones now. And we can see the 1618 target, 14k. And then the two targets at 10.6k and 11.1k. So there's not much more to say other than we just need to be patient now. We know where this is going. It's on a journey downwards. That's the expected journey now that you lost the higher low. So I've told you since we lost the higher low, we're going down. I will only change my stance if we're above 23k. Really and truly, yeah. You're not good until you're above the 2021 low. I was actually telling you this, that we have a higher low here that is going to send us. If we're holding the higher low, which again we didn't, and that's the moment we flipped, and I told you we would flip. But if we continuously held it, if this FTX nonsense, bankruptcy, whatever, did not happen, then the higher lows would have been held. We would have validated our shoulder here, head, and another shoulder here for the inverse head and shoulder, but also the double bottom. But then you would have ran into key resistance. I already warned you that once we do run up into there, there's going to be that potential where the bears call for that still, because you're just flipping an old support into resistance. So technically, as long as you're not above the 2021 lows and holding it as support, it's not bullish. But we had some good early signs that this should not have happened, the higher low at 18.6k. As long as you hold it, we got the W pattern and the inverse head and shoulders to take us up. This is why we saw coins like Quant going up, XRP, Matic, and all of that going up, leading. But of course, we were always calling, I think a month ago, for Quant to come down ever since it hit 220, 230. So I'm glad I was able to give that to you guys. It's just so... it's weird how we were calling for Quant to come down for weeks and weeks, for a month. But we didn't have any bearish signs for the rest of the cryptos until that event actually happened. But you can argue that it was always in the chart because we knew Quant needed to come down. And so all the FTX event really did was kickstart this journey down. And Quant was leading. And now that Quant is bearish since losing the inverse head and shoulders, then that means, of course, the rest is. But we didn't need Quant anyway. Bitcoin made a lower low on the daily, which is the moment I told you guys, once we lost 18.6, the bottom is not in. And then he pumps into these resistances. Again, it's just resistance. Please be really aware that any pump is just into resistance. Don't get tricked, guys. We made a lower low. I'll show you the best example of this, why not to get tricked. So remember, back in January 2021, I told you all on my YouTube, I have sold 50% of my crypto because we've made a weekly low. This is the daily time frame. If we quickly go on the weekly time frame, we made a lower low over here. We had bullish structure as long as we're above this higher low. We have a low, we have a higher low. We are bullish, now we form this. If we lose this, we're not bullish. So that's why I sold. And that's why we got this expected continuation downwards. We had a specific target because this was a shoulder, head. W pattern that came above the EMAs and capitulated. I gave you this specific target from back over here because we saw the same pattern, shoulder, head, shoulder, W pattern over here above the EMAs followed by capitulation. The specific target was 17,500, 600. And so since the moment that happened, which was the 18th of June, I told you we've now met the pattern's target. We're going to create a pattern in the opposite direction, which is most likely going to be a W pattern. And we had that forming and the bottom was in, but we unfortunately had that taken away from us by SBF. So yeah, it just pushes back everything, guys. So we know, and remember when I said the bottom is in, expect 6 to 9 months of sideways. We got 5 months of sideways. We finally formed that bullish cross and we were about to start this road to recovery. Unfortunately, it was taken away from us. So whenever the bottom is in, then add 6 to 9 months again, unfortunately, guys. So I can tell you guys right now, we're a long way from that. So that's why I will urge you to join my community where I discuss what I'm personally doing in these times. And you get this all for free through my education, which again is over 50% off at the moment. If you want to take action, head over to my Twitter. I also do provide one-to-one help that is also discounted at the moment.